Today I'm making another reaction video. Here's another member of the Fun 4. His
Yeah,
name
guys, are you there?
Okay, right now I'm reacting to. Okay, wait, who's this guy? Oh yeah, I already subscribed to him. Let me see. Oh, Jay Laser. He says that he's built a real Hawkeye arrow bow. Oh, okay, I can't wait to see that. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Hawkeye's working bow and arrow. Well, it started as a bow and arrow. Then I added another arrow, then a third arrow, then all the arrows, then a quiver, then a bow staff. And yeah, well, you get the point. Let's start from the beginning. All the way back in 2020. What a year it's been. But hey, I mean, we made some cool stuff. Anyways, I was down in the comments seeing what y'all have to say. Then I saw this comment. This comment right here got 6,000 likes saying I should build Hawkeye's working bow and arrow. Plus a bunch more comments for that too. Yeah, looks like we gotta do it. But in return, all I'm gonna ask is that you drop an idea for the next video down below. Like, it's much more fun to make stuff when I actually know it's an idea that you guys really want. So yeah, let's get another idea that y'all are hyped about. Like I saw this Black Panther shoe comment, or maybe like a Full Metal Iron Man gadget or something, or just something completely different. Just let me know. And upload the ones you like. And also like and subscribe, of course, always appreciated, because I'm about to go in on this project. So first, let's do some Hawkeye research just to see how screwed we actually are. So it looks like most notably he's got a bow and arrow, which doesn't exactly make sense when you're fighting aliens, but I guess he knows that.
Fighting an army of robots, and I have a bow and arrow. None of this makes sense.
But his arrows are full of tons of surprises. He's got electric arrows, he's got grappling arrows, he's got smoke arrows, impact arrows, really just a completely excessive amount of arrows. Like, I looked it up on fandom and just look at all these things. Like, why can't he just be like Ant-Man, you know, one power, he shrinks, that's it. Also, now's probably a good time to mention, none of this stuff is going to be used for harm in any way. Like, we're taking every safety precaution we can, and we're going to keep it, you know, super PG for obvious reasons. Like, I'm just doing this for the engineering challenge, and because it's super cool. So I'll build it so you don't have to. So the arrows are nice and all, but wait, there's more. Like, how is it that he gets the exact right arrow that he needs? Well, each arrow and arrowhead are separate, and then he's got a fancy quiver that rotates the arrowheads and combines the two, controlled by a little switch on his bow. Pretty sweet, honestly, but you might be asking, you know, how does he fight in close quarters? Well, unluckily for me, in the list of shit I gotta figure out, he's got an answer for that too. His bow transforms into a straight staff that can be used to like hit stuff and do other, you know, staff things. I don't know. But I guess even that was too simple for the Marvel team, because they also made it fold up for easy transport. So there's the list. Got a lot of stuff going on with this one. But honestly, you know, it could be worse. Like, at least most of the stuff is physically possible, unlike the Yondu arrow. And I think my past videos have kind of prepared me for something like this, so let's give it a shot. So realistically, he's probably got hundreds of arrows, so I'm gonna pick my top six. Let's say electric arrow, smokescreen arrow, flare/thermal arrow, explosion arrow, let's call it kaboom arrow, and grapple arrow. I'm also going to throw in a bonus spy arrow, because I think that could be cool too. So total 7 arrows actually. And let's start by getting some nice carbon fiber archery arrows as a base. We tested them out, and yeah, they're pretty legit too. Alright, let's see just how good these arrows actually are. Ooh, these are nice. Just the quality of this thing. Oh yeah, I guess the arrow's good too, but just look at the quality. Look, it didn't even get punctured. Bulletproof. Yup, so we do got a few of our limited edition shirts left. Like, we personally hand printed these.
Yeah,
Anyone can go get a Nike shirt, but if you have mentions. But I mean, they're quality shirts, and they're almost gone, and we don't know if we're ever gonna bring them back. The 400 kilovolt electric generator. jlaservideo.com/clothing, link below. Alright, so first up, the electric arrow. I was originally going to use a mini taser for this, but I ended up going with a 400 kilovolt electric generator because it's just way more juiced up.
Oh my god.
I'm going to power it off a mini 350 milliamp 2S LiPo battery, so super small but high discharge, which is perfect for arrows like this. And then to trigger, I'm using a mini radio remote switch. Basically a remote relay, you can press a button and it can turn things on. So we wired it all up, and now we got to mount it to the arrow. So I hopped on SolidWorks, and just disclaimer, this whole video is extremely CAD heavy. In order to up my game, I decided to 3D model and print the entire thing, which was definitely the right way to go, but after 50 hours of just straight CAD, I was kind of losing it. Anyway, so we designed the arrow with 2 prongs sticking out the tip for the electrodes and space for all the electronics. Oh, and as we saw, the arrows need to be able to disconnect and reconnect from the arrow shaft so that the quiver can combine them. So I thought about this, and I was originally going to use a screw mechanism, so the quiver would have like a motor that would spin the arrow down through a screw that would then screw into the arrow tip, because the arrowheads already have removable screw tips. The more I I thought about this, it just seemed way too complex. Like I have to get the arrow to spin and slide down, and the tolerances are super tight. Like we have to line up the threads exactly in order to get it to work. So instead I went with some super strong neodymium magnets. And I'm thinking if we slide them together like this, with a 3D print holding them in place, it won't be able to slide to either side. The only weak areas like the front and back, but the arrow's forward momentum should keep it in place. But it's super simple and has a large tolerance. Like if the arrow slides in off center, it'll auto-correct. Perfect. So I printed out all the parts, and now we've got our first arrowhead. Just click a button, and boom, 400,000 volts right from the tip. All right, what do we got next? Let's do the kaboom arrow. So these ones are a little trickier. Like I'm not really trying to strap dynamite on the tip of an arrow and just, let it fly. So after some digging, I think these airsoft gadgets will work perfectly for this. This one uses a CO2 canister inside a pressure chamber with a striking pin attached to the handle. Then you pull the pin, let go of the handle, pin pops a CO2 cartridge, tank pressurizes for about 10 seconds until the pressure is too great, and then kaboom, it explodes, and everything else inside just shoots out. So I'm thinking we could put in like some BBs or paint powder or anything else that'll be cool. Let's go film this. I require your assistance.
God, what is this thing?
You could put pants on, that might help. Kind of taking a while here.
I know, but
We should be ready in 5. Okay, what we're actually doing here, wait, we can't say, we have to make this like YouTube PC. It's a boom.
A plastic boomer.
Boomer.
Flash blaster.
Yes, a flash blaster. So I think you just pull this pin. Fell out. I haven't let go of it yet.
Okay.
No, we're just gonna run.
Oh, okay.
Get out of here. I hope that works. It works. So I printed out this little mechanism on here that transfers the horizontal pull pin and release to more of a vertical pull. That's live. Oh god, it was live. That's scary. Alright, I did this so when we go to fire the arrow, we can hold on the string, so when we shoot, the pin gets pulled automatically. So it just snaps right on like that. Very clean, not coming off. So when this pulls, it should fire. Oh, I know, this one's a big... Oh god, I pulled it.
Did you get it? Basically, mostly.
So I thought this was pretty clever, but the only thing that was bugging me is that it won't activate on impact. Like it might go off a few seconds after or in midair. Like we won't have that control. So I decided, what's one more arrow? So I ordered up this impact airsoft kaboom thing. So this gadget uses green gas to eject BBs on impact. Just pull the pin and let it drop.
We do have one more boom device.
To test.
This one's a little tough because you have to drop it and it goes on impact.
Oh!
So we can't really run from this one.
I could.
Pull the pin.
Dude, are you serious?
Yes, dude. I don't know how else to do this.
I heard something. I don't see any BBs. There was no screaming.
So it's cool, but honestly, I thought the design was a bit bulky, especially for an arrow. And I think just the spray of BBs is kind of lame. So I removed the shell and then made a new one that'll eject whatever we want. It's got holes in it. Basically, it just clips on over the gas part.
Guys, look what I found. GTA Android, GTA 5 for Android, right? Okay, yeah, guys, if I'll be able to put it down in the description down below. I'll just put it down in the description. You can just press my link and then download the mobile game. My friend just downloaded it.
To get them to ignite at the right time, not too late or not too early. So I think we can take a page out of the old kaboom arrow and use the pull string to trigger the rocket right when it releases. Basically, these rockets have an electric fuse, so I'm going to use another tiny battery along with a momentary switch to trigger it. Then I designed a housing to hold everything, printed it out, and now we've got our rocket arrow. So when we pull out this piece, the switch is triggered, igniting the fuse, launching the rocket. Let's try it out. So for the first test, I tried using an old bottle rocket, but this one turned out to be a dud. So for the next test, we're going to use an actual rocket engine. Okay, so that worked. I had no idea it would go that far. I guess just one more thing to add to the list of weird stuff our neighbors see. Alright, so hopefully the next arrow is less obvious. Let's see what we got. Oh my god. Flare arrows. At least this is going to be easy to build. All we got to do is take a flare and stick it on an arrow. Alright, ready? We can even call this the flare-o. Alright, let's first try one of these flares out just to see what they can do. Caution, produces hot flames for outdoors use only.
Sway 2 feet. Stand with back to wind. Where's my back? Ready? Let's go! Imagine that just shooting off on an arrow tip. Oh, really bright.
Oh! Oh my god, I breathed that in pretty good.
Oh my god, it's still on fire.
How is that still going?
It's not going out. Oh my god, dude.
Oh my god, it's always with disaster every single.
Alright, so what did we learn? Well, they are in
It's
fact super
downloaded.
bright. Surprise, surprise. They get super hot, almost 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah,
And they are really
yes,
hard
it's
to put out.
downloaded.
We're gonna have to be careful with this one. Alright, let's actually take a break from all the pyrotechnics.
Okay guys, I'll also download that and I'll leave the link in the description below. And I'll also make a GTA video where I play as Franklin, my brother. But if it's a scam, then I will delete it.